Without United States, you have nothing, China. Yes, MAGA, we don't have child labor, school shooting, homeless problem, genocide, oligarchy monopoly, crazy expensive yet inefficient healthcare system, heavy tax on working class, property tax every year, anti-Semitism awareness law, a supremacy bubble you live in, built by multi-billion-dollar worth propaganda, a fake free speech, fake democracy. Yeah, you guys got it all. Also, we don't have MAGA.
J.D. Vance's recent comments calling Chinese workers peasants have sparked outrage. And for good reason. But instead of just talking about it, let's show you why his words missed the mark entirely. In this video, we're reacting to clips that highlight the reality of life in China, from rural villages steeped in tradition to bustling urban centers like Shenzhen, where so-called peasants are living in futuristic communities using cashless payment systems, and even getting their food delivered by drones. Let's see just how far off base Vance's comments really are.
Dr. Gao, the US may not be declaring war on China, but Vice President J.D. Vance recently said, to make it a little more crystal clear, I'm quoting here, we borrow money from Chinese peasants to buy the things those Chinese peasants manufacture. So it's maybe not a declaration of war, but it's certainly not a show of respect to another global leader. Is this how a world superpower should behave?
Well, J.D. Vance and I went to the same law school, Yale Law School. I was 20 years ahead of him. I'm ashamed by what J.D. Vance said, because he kept talking about the Chinese peasants, etc. Let me make the simple point. The urban population in China is about 3 times as big as the total population in the United States. The middle class in China is more than the total number of the people in the United States. So if J.D. Vance comes to China, he could barely find a peasant at all, because he will see the urban population. And by today, China is one of the leading industrialized nations in the world.
Vance's use of the term peasants feels outdated and condescending, like something out of a 19th century colonial mindset. By referring to Chinese workers as peasants, he's not only dismissing their contributions, but also ignoring the reality of modern China. As Dr. Gao points out, China's urban population is massive, about 900 million people, which is roughly 3 times the total population of the United States. These aren't peasants, they're engineers, factory workers, tech innovators, and entrepreneurs, driving one of the world's largest economies. Let's talk about the middle class. China's middle class alone exceeds the entire population of the US, with over 400 million people who are consumers, investors, and contributors to global markets. This isn't a nation of peasants. It's a nation of upward mobility and industrial prowess. Dr. Gao makes an important point about China's status as a leading industrialized nation. Today, China produces 85% of the world's smartphones, 80% of global solar panels, and 50% of all steel and aluminum. These aren't the achievements of a backward agrarian society. They're the hallmarks of a highly advanced economy. And yet, Vance's rhetoric reduces China to a caricature, ignoring its technological advancements and global influence. Vance's comments aren't just offensive, they reveal a fundamental misunderstanding of China's role in the world. The US-China relationship is built on mutual economic interdependence. China holds over $800 billion in US Treasury bonds. Well, maybe more like 750, effectively financing American debt. Disrespecting your lender doesn't exactly scream diplomacy. I mean, if you're borrowing hundreds of billions of dollars from peasants, what does that make you? Moreover, this language undermines any chance of productive dialogue between the two nations. If the US wants to address trade imbalances or geopolitical tensions, it needs to engage with respect, not insults.
What's life like for Chinese peasants in a Muslim village of rural China? Assalamu alaikum. I was shocked that the vice president of Greek country called us Chinese peasants.
We borrow money from Chinese peasants to buy the things those Chinese peasants manufacture.
It's not AI, it's real. And I suppose the peasant is similar like the farmer. Right now, I'm in the rural area of Yunnan, China. So let's see how's the life here. Let's start the day with the morning fajr in the Asian masjid from Qing Dynasty. Now let's go for the breakfast at the local house. It's my friend Sulaiman's house. This is very common house here in this village. Sulaiman's wife. This is the living room. Oh, look, the calligraphy. 念礼斋课朝. This is 5 pillars of Islam in Chinese. Quran in Chinese translation. And pu'er. This tree made with the pu'er, cowbell. This is typical breakfast here in Yunnan. This is the minced beef. And this one is the fermented beef. Similar process like the dry aged beef. Here they call it 牛干巴. And also the rice noodle. Wow. Mouth-watering. We put some pickled vegetables, wild mushrooms, a bit of chili. This is the Sichuan pepper oil and garlic. Wow, so good. Bismillah. Dry aged beef. Bit salty and has that kind of fermented flavor. This is the gumbong beef. Wow, this is my favorite. Bao. Let's see what's inside. Bismillah. Wow. It's the potato. This is local blueberry, freshly picked from the mountain yesterday. The blueberry in Yunnan is so good. Now it's the tea time and brother Sulaiman's studio. Which tea we should drink? This one is around $300 for 1 kilo. This one like $500 and $700. This one $1,000. And this one is most expensive one. $500 or $5,000, you know, from the Asian tree. It's called Bindao, Iceland. Let's not rip him off. We just drink something around $700. This is from Yiwu Mountain. Pour the hot water in. Just 5 seconds. Look at the color. Teacup, 建盏. It's a very unique one. Around $100 for just 1 cup. Tea is so good. It's much better than the Americano. And this is the Chinese peasant's car, made in China. Now we are going to the Asian tea mountain. My cousin Dawood. Now it's self-driving and it's free, the software. Finally, we arrived at the top of the Asian tea mountain, surrounded by the Asian tea forest with more than 1,000 years history. Next, we will experience the life of a Muslim tea farmer in China. So, stay tuned and spread the love.
When he calls Chinese workers peasants, he reduces them to stereotypes of poverty and ignorance. But as you can see, these so-called peasants are farmers, artisans, and entrepreneurs whose lives are steeped in history, innovation, and pride. I mean, the ancient tea forests of Yunnan aren't just agricultural sites, they're living legacies protected for centuries. These farmers are stewards of traditions that predate modern nations. Let's talk about technology integration. Even in rural areas, technology like self-driving cars, are becoming part of daily life. These aren't the backward peasants Vance imagines. It's a community embracing progress while honoring its roots. Now, if you think about it, what stands out most is how this rural lifestyle challenges Western narratives about China. Instead of poverty or oppression, we see prosperity and harmony. And let's be real, if someone served me a $5,000 cup of tea in a $100 teacup, I'd think twice about calling them a peasant. We should remember that dignity and respect should transcend borders, and that labels like peasant say more about the person using them than the people they're describing.
We borrow money from Chinese peasants to buy the things those Chinese peasants manufacture.
Let's see how peasants look like. Oh, peasants like to live in this kind of compound. outside the peasant community, we have a school that is related to my area. That's where basically peasants go to school, middle school. And this middle school looks like, I don't know, some fancy futuristic building. Oh, let's see how peasants order delivery now. In my area, where a lot of peasants live, we need a new hospital, and they just started 2 years ago. So apparently, peasants are pretty fast, because as you can see here, the new hospital is just complete. This hospital is quite modern, the common hospital that I usually see around. My phone also ran out of battery, and I don't know how peasants can do to charge their phone on the street. Oh wait, they have a power bank station. Easy. So be a peasant, it's not that bad. Actually, I am a peasant, and I'm proud of it. I'm from south of Italy. I'm what they call terrone. In China, you say shambalao. Yeah, 我是 shambalao. So, and I'm proud of it, because the country backbone is the system of farmer and people that take care of the main supply that all people need to survive. So I might say that maybe some people out there in other nations should be more respectful and speak more consciously and considerate what they say, because they have a responsibility. I hope you enjoy the video, guys. See you soon.
While Shenzhen isn't rural, the speaker highlights how even so-called peasants in urban areas live in impressive communities. He walks us through a futuristic middle school that rivals elite institutions, a state-of-the-art hospital that was only built in 2 years, the convenience of tech, like power bank stations, making life easier for everyone. These aren't the hallmarks of poverty. They're signs of progress and modernity. Clearly Vance's stereotype of peasants doesn't hold up against the reality. J.D. Vance's comments about Chinese peasants are straight up ignorant. Whether it's the vibrant rural villages, the futuristic cities like Shenzhen, or the hardworking farmers and workers fueling China's rise, the truth is no one should be dismissed or disrespected based on their profession. Global leaders should approach